Hey kiddos, hope everybody's doing well. Mr. Evans here. We have started our first Enduring Issues essay on humans and the environment. I assigned the document set yesterday. I just want to go through a couple of these with you guys so you can kind of see how I was doing it. So document one, from food gathering to food producing. I always read the title. I check out the source because we're going to use that in our essay. And this is about Paleolithic man, that is the people before farming, right? That was old school. That comes before the Neolithic Revolution, all right? So they relied on foraging, hunting, fishing, and trapping. Um, and eventually they're going to change to the Neolithic age, and that's when they become, go from hunters here to farmers, all right? When I'm thinking about this, enduring issues that are in here, probably innovation and ideas, right? This idea that farming is better. I'm just going to say impact of inventions. I'll go right here. Also, clearly, this has to do with humans and the environment, right? As we were reliant on the natural food supply. And maybe if you want to stretch it, you could say scarcity, because there wouldn't have been a lot of food for people back when they were hunting and gathering. So now let's find an important quote. I like this quote here. I actually like the first quote. Paleolithic men could not control their food supply. All right? So they were like at the whims, or they were dependent on Mother Nature. So I'm just going to copy that. And I'll put that in my important quote box. I'll put quotes around it. Okay? And then outside information. Is there anything we know about this topic that's not in the document? Well, I know that hunters were nomadic. Hunters lived in small populations because there wasn't a lot of food. Okay? And remember, nomadic means moving from place to place. All right, so we don't have to kill these documents, but we just need to do our best to fill in the boxes that we can. Document 2, terrace farming. This is like this awesome idea that people used to cut land in the side of mountains to make steps. You can see modern ones here in China. And on the flat parts of the steps, people learned how to farm. So it made growing food easier. All right? So definitely here, humans and the environment. We're changing the environment to make life easier for ourselves. Now, we have two options. We can either describe what we see here, or we can take a quote, because there's both words and pictures. And I'm just going to take this. It's kind of just like your basic definition of it. All right, the technique involves cutting land away from the hillside to create flat surfaces that look like steps. Paste it. There's my quote. And outside information, do we know anything else about terrace farming? I know that helped increase food supplies. And one other thing I know about it, it was used a lot in Asia and South America. If you didn't know that, that's okay. You can just leave that blank. We'll have to have outside information for every single document. All right, document 3. We got long, again, words and pictures. And this is ultimately a document about irrigation. How did people get water to their crops? Okay? So here's a picture. These poor people are carrying buckets around, right? Putting water on their crops, which isn't so great. Irrigation, modern irrigation, where you kind of dig a stream to your farm, is a little bit better. But again, we're changing the earth to make life easier for ourselves, clearly humans and the environment. And again, I'll try to find a quote. I think quotes are actually easier than describing the documents. All right, let me see if I can find some. All right, hold on. All right. All right, so we're talking about Egypt and the construction of irrigation canals, right? Those are the man-made streams. And basically, major endeavor just means it took a lot of work. Just copy that. Man big. There's my quote. And outside information, well, I know irrigation is still used today. To take water to farms. And I also know those first groups, the first people who learned how to farm all lived near water. So the first, or lived near rivers, excuse me, civilizations to learn how to farm live near rivers. That shouldn't be surprising because they use that fresh water from the river to help grow their crops. All right, document 4, this is a weird one because we've never heard or seen about this agricultural revolution, 1700s. We don't know much about it. So I don't think we're going to use this document in our actual essay. Remember, we need to use 3 documents. There's 5 here. So the ones that we're not so sure about, we just ignore those, okay? But it is about plow or digging ditches to help seeds grow. Here's a picture of it. And so, again, we're changing the earth to make life better. So I'll do humans and the environment. Important quote. Let's see if I can find something. Oh, here we go. Advances in agricultural technology. This thing right here is called the plow. This like tool that the horses are pulling. It digs really straight rows and makes it easy to drop seeds that will grow regularly. So new technology led to more food and a rise in population. More food always equals more people. I'll just put that in there. And you know what? I don't really know much about this topic, so I'm going to leave outside information blank. Now, the last one, document 5. This is going to be really, really important to us because this is a modern document. We're going to have to use this, all right? We've got to use one modern document in our essay. This is about something called the Green Revolution. We don't know a lot about it, but maybe we could use something from either the image or the words to help us with it. But it's about new farming techniques. Here's agriculture is a fancy word for farming. So new farming techniques to increase food supplies, okay? This is like when science was applied to farming, when they start using like chemical pesticides and fertilizers to help grow more crops. So we're using inventions to change the earth. I'm going to do humans and the environment again. Important quote. Let's just describe this. We'll describe the graph here. And clearly the most important thing is over the years, grain production in India has gone steadily up. So what I'm going to say, I'm just going to describe it so I don't use quotes. The Green Revolution led the grain production of India to increase dramatically. Outside information, I know that India's got a huge population, so the Green Revolution saved many lives because it meant that more people had enough food to eat. All right? And so that's the end of just the document analysis. Notice, guys, it's not like a ton, but we got to set ourselves up for what we're going to write about in the essay. And remember, we need 3 documents. So if it was me, I would probably use documents 1, 2, and 5. But we'll talk about that a little bit later when we start the essay. All right, kiddos, take care.